Oh, I see I have Alexis or Alexis. Okay, thank you. All right. Good morning. I would like to call to order this morning the Hartford Subcommittee of the MARB. Today is Thursday, June the 23rd, and the time is 10:04. We do have a quorum this morning. I would like to welcome everybody to this meeting. And I do not have opening remarks. We have a light agenda, and hopefully things will run rather smoothly this morning. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of May 26th. If I could get a motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Stephen.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. And Matt. Any
Whichever.
discussion? I hear none. Tell me, who all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mark?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. I heard all four, so there will be no opposed. Somebody is starting to join us, Julian. All right, the minutes have been approved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is review, discussion, and possible action of the labor contract for the Hartford Federation of School Secretaries. And this bargaining unit covers about 100 secretaries and clerical positions. The prior contract that expired in June 30th of 2018. So this contract would be for a term of July 1st of 2018 through June 30th of 2024. A tentative agreement has been ratified by the union and with the Board of Education. And the MARB has an opportunity to approve, reject, or take no action on this agreement. If the board chooses to approve or reject, we have until July the 20th to do so. The Board of Ed and their labor attorney have provided us summaries of the agreement and supporting documentation, including the fiscal analysis comparables and the vacancy data. The staff and the labor attorney are on the call today to walk us through this agreement and answer any questions. Oh, hello, Christine. Thank you for joining.
All right.
Good morning, Ms. Kennison, and good morning, all. I'm sorry, Attorney Kaufman. Good morning.
No, good morning. Didn't want to cut you off. So this is, I believe, the 7th contract that we have brought to you this year. So we are getting there. We are almost through all of them. As Ms. Kennison said, this is for the Secretaries Union. There are approximately 100 secretaries and clerical employees that are in this union currently. You will see that this looks very familiar because it is almost identical to the agreement we brought you 2 months ago with the paraprofessionals. So let me walk you through this real quickly. They agreed to take zeros for 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, and that is 0 GWIs and no step movement. For the current year that is ending in a couple of days, it is a 2% GWI, all members not on top step moving 1 step, and that would be retroactive to the beginning of this year, something we felt we needed to do, being that they are fairly low paid and are taking 3 zeros. And then for 22-23, it's a 2% GWI and all members not on top step move 1 step. And then 23-24, it's 3% GWI, no step movement. Similar to what we did with the paraprofessionals, we are doing some language change on the tuition reimbursement to make it more uniform, and also increasing them to $675 per credit for that as well. And we did do an audit, and there are several secretaries that are currently enrolled in college programs that are using that. As far as insurance, because we are so close to the end of the year, we didn't feel that we could move this group to the high deductible health plan starting July 1 of 2022. So we are doing that as of July 1, 2023. So for this upcoming school year, those that are still grandfathered in and allowed to be in the PPO will be increasing from a 17% cost share to a 17.5% cost share. those that are in the high deductible plan will be moving from a 14% to a 14.5%. And then starting 23-24, everyone will be moving to the high deductible plan with a 15% cost share. And we are doing similar to as we did for other groups, where that year, whoever moves from the PPO to the high deductible plan will get funded at 75% of their deductible. Everybody else will remain at 50% of the deductible. So the language that you see is a little more complicated only because it has to be, this year is different than next year. And then we are also allowing, going forward, starting July 1, 2023, for those who have declined the health insurance will be eligible for a $1,000 stipend as long as they meet certain conditions so that it complies with HIPAA. And then they have also agreed that those hired after June 30th, 2022 will not be eligible for retiree insurance coverage moving forward. And we have given you the cost breakdown there of the cost of the increases versus savings that we will see, obviously not this coming year for health insurance, but hopefully the year after, the expected savings. And then there are just some language changes, obviously, like the other contracts we had to deal with the Janus decision. We did do some language changes around initial hires and promotional opportunities to hopefully allow more employees to be able to be eligible for promotional opportunities, and extended time periods for the first evaluation from 4 weeks to 60 days in order to give a little more time for evaluation of new employees. And obviously fix some typographical errors. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Happy to answer any questions we can. Unfortunately, Chief Penn is not here, so we will do the best we can to answer fiscal questions without him if you have them.
First question would be I'm assuming that with the retro, that the budget can handle the increases.
Yes, I made sure to check with Chief Penn.
Thank you. Any questions from the members or the staff?
Just quickly, I noticed that the vacancy rate is constant, which is, I'm sure, a concern. Was there any thought given by the looking at your breakdown of your comparisons with the group average in Hartford when you do New Britain, New Haven, New London, et cetera? Your maximums are pretty competitive. Your minimums are not so much. Was there any consideration given to, as you move the people up the ladder, that you eliminate steps in order to raise your minimums to be more attractive? That either side consider doing that? I know it's a 7-step schedule, but you could easily make it a 5-step schedule. Was that ever discussed in order to make your minimums more attractive than they are presently?
I mean, it is definitely a concern. I will say this, and you'll see that this contract is shorter than most of the ones that we brought before you, that it's only going through 2024, because we really wanted to get this group approved by the end of this fiscal year and get them these retro raises. So some of the things that we needed to talk about, quite frankly, we just realized we weren't going to get done if we wanted to get it done by the end of the fiscal year, which is why that's a fairly short contract so that we can go back and discuss some of those things. And yes, that is one of the things that is on the radar.
Thank you.
I have no other questions. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Do you, just curious, do you know what the uptake is in the college courses and the credit sort of that's offered? I noticed you're increasing. I'm just curious sort of like what the, right, I mean, this has been in a couple of different contracts. I'm kind of curious to what extent are folks actually using this benefit kind of thing.
I am going off memory because I am at home today, so I don't have my whole file, but I believe this unit had about 3 employees that were very consistently using it, and that was about the rate and even slightly higher per credit for those employees.
Move to approve.
Thank you,
Second.
Mark. Thank you, Matt. All in favor? Any discussion? I hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Everybody has approved the contract has been approved, and will then be ready to go to the MARB at our next meeting. I believe it is July 14th. So thank you for your presentation and your good work on bringing all of this information together so that we can do our work. Next item on the agenda is the budget mitigation measures, and I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Rawls to update us.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning, commissioners. Not sure if all of you heard when I logged on this
They did
morning.
not. So yeah, please provide that announcement.
Okay, so Jen Hockenhall has decided to leave the city. Her last day was yesterday. She was not looking to leave the city, but her dream job fell into her lap unexpectedly. She recently lost her mom in January to heart disease, and she's going to a not-for-profit dealing directly with the heart disease that her mom passed from. So she's left. She is very excited, and we wish her very well on her new journey with this not-for-profit agency. So Mayor Bronin has asked me to step up a bit and has appointed me interim CFO. So you get to deal with me for the next, the near future, we should say, until the city is able to recruit a new budget director. So I'm here today to present to you an update on the budget mitigation.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Leanne. And please, if you get an opportunity to speak with Jen again, please wish her well from all of us on this board and the full MARB. She has done a great job. And I do know, and I do wish her well in her new endeavors, as well as I know that we are in good hands because you have been a constant with us throughout. And so it's not a matter of dealing with you. It is a pleasure to continue to work with you.
oh, thank you, Kim. Appreciate your kind words, and I will definitely pass that on to Jen. She did give me her number to call her daily, and I said I wouldn't be doing that, so.
She didn't give it to us.
So I just ask for your patience as we make our way through this, as I've had a short time to get myself updated on some of the issues that Jen has been working with you all on. But this one's relatively easy. Jen has mentioned historically that we've had some staffing issues at the city. As you know, it's not just an issue that the city is facing, but it is a nationwide issue with hiring. And so we have some shortages that are really affecting our ability to really push these budget mitigation measures full force. But with that being said, there are some successes that I can report on today. Currently, at Dunkin' Donuts Park, the city is holding its annual tax deed sale. So we had started this tax deed sale with a little over 50 properties in the sale, and I'm happy to report that 40 of those properties have redeemed prior to the sale. So we've had a total of about $1.4 million in redemptions of taxes paid in full, and those numbers are reflected in prior year and current year levy revenue numbers as we go throughout the months, because these redemptions have been happening since the postings have gone out regarding the tax deed sale. So you will see in the P11 numbers that we report on next month that it will include a lot of those redemptions. Currently, we have, of the 10 properties remaining in the sale, about another $500,000 worth of prior levy revenue, tax revenue that's due to the city. So hoping to have some more collections to that number today. But we're excited. We've got a lot of good interest in the tax deed sale, and we've advertised it relatively well. So I'm feeling pretty positive about today's results, and I hope to receive them in about 45 minutes as the sale ends at 11 today. So So that's a good thing.
Great news.
Another update that I can provide for you today is we did realize the $100,000 savings from the golf operations. We've been budgeting about, well, for fiscal 22, it was $100,000 in a line item to assist golf operations if necessary. The Director of Public Works was able to communicate to us that he will not need that contribution for fiscal 22. This is the second year in a row. So the pandemic, although was not very nice to us on a health-wise level, has had a positive effect on golf.
On golf.
Right, you know, across the country, maybe even the world. So those are the two updates I have for you today on budget mitigations. Happy to take any questions.
I don't have any immediate questions. How about the members?
The private duty comparisons, police private duty. I noticed that we got over the Excel Center's big bill,
Mhm.
but if you look at the sum over 120 days past due column, that's pretty stable at about $500,000 month over month. Is there any, the sum total, of course, is a little high, but the 120-day past due number of $500,000, is there a singular or a group that is that contributes to that $500,000, or is it just a continuation of in and out, in and out, in and out, because or people just waiting, you know, for the 120th day and between 120 days, et cetera. And I know you probably have to deal with the uncollectibles down the road, but my question basically is, that being so stable as $500,000, is it one group, or is it just a continuation of many people that wait that long?
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. So I will need to confirm this because Jen and I did speak about this before she left. So even though the Excel Center caught up, they're about 300,000 in arrears right now. I am meeting actually later this afternoon with the revenue accountant to go over these collections and the receivables. So I will have a much clearer explanation for you on that, Councilman. But Commissioner, sorry. From what I understand, the Excel Center continues to have a larger receivable due, in that Jen and her revenue team did send about 170,000 of these receivables that are past due greater than 120 days off to the collection agency, and that the collection agency was only able to collect around $24,000 of this amount past due, and that there is an open item in with our corporation counsel's office to determine if we can write off several of these receivables as well. So hoping to get some traction on that before we close the fiscal year for 22.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Hopefully they won't continue to, that's not a business practice, that they continue to, you know, ramp it back up again, and then we get back into the same situation we were in the past. So I'm glad that you're keeping an eye on the ball and oversight.
Absolutely.
You talked about vacancies and that many of the vacancies are affecting some of the mitigation measures. Can you tell us the key vacancies that would have been working on this plan, that besides the CFO, that because I know that that's going to put a damper on things. But one of the big areas I think was grants and stuff. Can you just make me aware of the vacancies that are impacting this?
Sure. So we have 2 vacancies in the grants area, one being the grant director, and then another one being an analyst. So we have an interim grant director right now, and she's working hard to get her arms around all of the outstanding issues in the unit. So that's one of them. And then again, meeting with her later this afternoon to go over some of the issues that she's facing there. We do have 3 vacancies in the procurement division. Of those 3 vacancies, 2 of them are in our contract compliance team. And we've had to move the lean/cost savings project manager to fill one of those vacancies in the contract compliance team to keep those operations moving as smooth as we can during the transition. So that lean project manager has been vacant for about 3 months now. So, and that's the person on the finance side that is actively out there looking for those cost savings, working with any potential cost savings on the city side, as well as helping Maureen Coleman and Phil Penn on the Board of Ed side do some research on any cost savings there. So those are the key ones that I can work through, but every department in the city is having staffing issues. It's
Okay.
just, it's unfortunate. Overall, we have about 8 in finance.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions from the members or Julian? That's it for me. All right, let's move on to the next item on the agenda, which is thank you. Thank you, Lane. The other item on the agenda is other related business. Julian, I know that you have an update in regards to the Milliman contract that we've been working on diligently, on again, off again.
Right. So the board approved the scope of services that we laid out back in April, and we've been working on getting the contract executed. The update is the contract has not been executed yet. The underlying state contract that we were going to piggyback evidently does not cover the office that we're working with. And so just have to redo some of the paperwork and forms and get that there. I don't expect it to be a big delay, but it has obviously delayed this somewhat. So that paperwork is prepared and in process, but don't have a real precise estimate of when we'll get this through, but I would imagine before the next meeting.
Yeah, I would agree. Thanks, Julian. Plus, we have staff on vacation in our own OPM, which is impacting paperwork movement and a lot of demands on fiscal year end for all of us. So, Julian, thank you for keeping your finger on the pulse and trying to move this through for us. I have no other items to bring to this board on other related. Does anybody else?
Can I ask a quick question? What
Sure.
the police contract? So my understanding at the MARB, we're at the full meeting, was that it didn't come to us because the police had rejected the TA. So what's I guess where is the status at this point?
I'm assuming that's directed to me.
The
I have
city,
pro-
somebody. I don't know if the labor attorney's still with us or not. Okay. Yeah, if you can help us. Yeah.
Absolutely. So my understanding is that management or corporation counsel and HR are working with the police union. I'm not sure if the next steps is arbitration or if they're going to be able to come to some type of agreement prior to moving on to that step. But we should be able to have an update for you at the next meeting.
Thank you. Other questions? All right, if none, if I could get a motion to adjourn, and we'll keep this meeting light today.
So moved.
Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Thank you, Matt. And all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and a nice weekend. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.